Hi friends, I'm here with a yoga offering. As always, please go at your own pace, rest whenever you need to. Feel free to skip things or change things if they're not working for you today. For this practice, we'll be using some props. If you do have yoga blocks, those will be useful. If you don't, you can use things you have around the house, or this may be a time to go buy some yoga blocks. So let's start in a supported fish. 2 blocks could be useful, and again, improvise with what you've got. Could be a foam roller, could be a couple books with a towel over it. You might also use a rolled up blanket or a rolled up yoga mat. I like to do this over 2 blocks, one on medium, one on low. So you can try my setup and then adjust to suit yourself. So the first block, or whatever you're using for your prop, is going to go pretty high up the upper back. Just low enough so the shoulders can fall off the end of it. And then depending on how high this thing is, you may want something else, perhaps another block supporting your head, so that your chin isn't way up in the air, but instead dropped and the back of your neck long. Now arms can either be overhead or out to the side. Legs can be bent or straight. If the first position you come into isn't quite working, experiment. A little adjustment can make a big difference to find how this works for you. In general, the higher and harder the thing you use, the more intense it will be. The softer or smaller the thing you use, the less intense it will be. So choose your level of intensity. And then when you're ready, you can settle in. Start to slow down your breath. At any point, you might readjust or change something. Allowing the weight of your body to rest onto your props, release into the floor or the support underneath you. And this is great for opening up the upper back, the chest, shoulders. If you picture what your body looks like when you're sitting at your computer or hunched forward, working with your hands in front of you, this is a counter stretch to that. And keep checking for unnecessary effort. Are you tensing your face? Are you clenching your hands or feet? Can you let go a little bit more? Now, one gentle way of coming out of this is to interlace your fingers behind your head. Point your elbows up towards the ceiling, and then use your arm strength to lift your chin to your chest, taking the pressure off your props. And then you can lean to one elbow and move your things out of your way to roll back down. And just take a moment feeling the effect of that. Notice how your body feels now. And then we're going to take our blocks or props and place them under the sacrum for a supported bridge.
So same, you get to choose how high you want the blocks or props to be under the sacrum, which is a little lower than the lower back. If it doesn't feel quite right, try something a little different, maybe adjusting the placement, the height, what you're using. And of course, for some of us, some of these poses just don't work no matter what we do. So if it's not working, don't do it. Don't worry about it. Do something else. If you'd like to join me, I'm going to do a hip flexor stretch from here. So bring your right knee to your chest. You can grab hold of that leg with one or both hands above or below your knee. So it could be behind the leg, could be up in front. And then extend the other leg, your left leg, straight, and let that straight left leg hang. Opening up the front of the left hip. This is also like yoga therapy. Most of us spend a lot of time sitting. The hip flexors can get really tight sitting for long periods of time. So this is a position that helps open those up again, bringing some balance. Let's switch sides, bring the left knee in. Drop the right leg long. Squeeze this knee in close. Let that straight right leg hang. You might imagine the front of the hip yawning open, softening, lengthening, whatever image works for you. And then let's come to a neutral shape. So that could be knees in, both knees in. Could be both feet back on the floor. Could be both legs extended straight, either up in the air or along the floor. And if you want to adjust the height or placement of your block or props, you can do so at any time. Finding one of these four positions to settle into. Again, stripping away what's not needed. Almost no effort. There's a little bit of effort required so you don't fall off your block, but how much can you let go? You're welcome to try any of the other leg positions if you like, or just keep settling into stillness where you are. Let's release. You can bring your feet back to the floor if they're not there already. Lift your hips to move your props, release down. And again, take a moment just experiencing how it is to be in your body now after doing that. Let's make our way to sitting. And come onto hands and knees, tabletop. If you want to pad your knees and you have something, you might use a blanket or cushion or towel under your knees. Have your hands shoulder width apart, fingers spread so the whole hand is taking weight, and we'll take a few rolls through the spine, starting by lifting the head and tail, arching. And then exhale, round, draw the belly in. Inhale, arch. Exhale, curve. Inhale, arch. Exhale, curve. Now inhale, arch. From here, shift your weight forward, bend your elbows straight back and dip part way or all the way to the floor. Press up from there. Round. Arch. Go forward to dip down. If going all the way down is too much, you might just go a couple of inches and then press up from there. Round. Arch. Go forward to dip down. Press up. Round. Arch. One more time, dip down. Press up. Round. And then sink back to child's pose, releasing hips to the heels. Forehead to the floor, finding relaxed position for your arms, your neck, your shoulders. With arms out in front of you. Walk your hands over to the left. And then pull back through your right hip, stretching right side a little more. Come through center and over to the other side. Pull back through your left hip, stretching left side a bit more. And then back to center. We're going to come back up through table. And then walk your hands away from your knees to come into puppy dog. So we're going to keep the hips right above the knees, at least to start. Walk your hands out as far as you can without moving the hips forward. And then pull the hips even further back. Depending on your mobility, you might rest your forehead or chin on the floor. Chest is releasing down, opening up the chest, shoulders, upper back. And then let's drop the elbows. Shift your weight forward. Adjust your elbows so that your forearms are parallel, shoulder width apart. We're going to tuck the toes, lift the knees, and come into a Sphinx pose. Plank pose. We'll do Sphinx next. So in plank, we're feeling the core engage. The whole underside of the body lifting up, but trying to keep everything in a straight, long line. So your hips aren't up, they're not down, they're right in line with the shoulders and the heels. Belly engaged. Doing plank on the elbows can be useful if your wrists are need a little extra care. And I always add in more plank poses when I'm having any lower back issues. So good for supporting the back. Okay, let's drop the knees, drop the pelvis. Now Sphinx. So for Sphinx, we want the elbows right under shoulders. Again, forearms parallel.
You might let your shoulders come up to your ears just for a moment to feel what the options are. Shoulders can be up or down. So we want to choose shoulders down, way down, neck telescoping, lengthening up, heart pulling forward. Now you're welcome to stay right here, or by pushing hands into the floor, lift the elbows, but try not to lift the shoulders. Can you keep the shoulders down, elbows hugging in, little low cobra. And then pull the chest forward a little bit more. Turn the elbows out to the side and rest, head to one side, letting go into the floor. Turn back to neutral. Let's bring the hands under the shoulders now. Slightly deeper cobra. So you can take this more gently. It could just be a little lift of the upper back. You might come up a bit higher. You might come all the way. But elbows in, shoulders down. If this doesn't work for you, do Sphinx again, what we just did. Pull the chest even further forward as you come down so you get even longer. Turn your head to the other way, resting. Let's come back to neutral. You can do what we did the first time, the second time, or a little deeper, hands by the ribs, coming up for an even deeper cobra. So in all these, the pubic bone is down, shoulders down, elbows in. If you'd like to change this into an up dog, you can extend arms straight, making sure now for up dog, hands are right under the shoulders. The knees could be off the floor or on. And let's come back to child's pose again. Spreading the lower back. Taking any arm position. Letting go. So let's come up through table and take a downward facing dog now. Tuck the toes, lift the hips up and back. You may want to pedal out the feet a little bit, bending one knee as you press the opposite heel towards the floor, waking up the backs of the legs. Eventually settling onto 2 feet evenly. Pulling the hips up and away from the hands. Let's take a pigeon pose, right side. So we're going to slide the right knee forward. Scoot back through the left leg. Help the hips get as low as they'll go. And then release down. And if props are useful for you here, you might put a little something under the right hip. You could use something under the chest or forehead.
Couple more seconds here, seeing if there's anything to release. Bring the upper body back up. Let's make our way back to down dog. You might just step back, or if you want to take any movement along the way, you're welcome to. You could take a vinyasa, high to low push-up, up dog, or cobra to down dog, or any other movement. Just using your transition to integrate what you've just done. Feel where your body is now. And then when you're ready, let's take pigeon on the other side. The left knee comes forward. Scoot back through the right leg. Set up any support that might be useful. Letting go towards the floor. Let's bring the upper body back up. Take your time, releasing again through any movement. Finding your way to down dog. And then let's walk hands and feet towards one another. And we'll hang in ragdoll. You might bend your knees a little or a lot. You can take any arm position. Any movement, a little sway or shake out might help you release here. Using gravity to your advantage. Feeling the heaviness of your head hanging, each vertebrae releasing from the one above it. Let's lower the hips and come all the way to sitting. We'll take the soles of the feet together, badhokonasana. If you want to sit up on something, you're welcome to put a little lift under the hips if that's useful. We'll grab the big toes or the ankles with that grip, lengthen. And then fold forward whatever amount you're able. If your elbows meet your legs, you might push into them to help them open. Or if it works better for you, you could lean into your hands or elbows on the floor. Let's bring the upper body back up. I'm going to keep the right leg where it is and then open the left leg out for gate Paragasana. Nice side stretch. So take your right arm up and over. You can lean onto your left hand or elbow. And that could be on the inside or outside of your straight leg. Big reach through the right side. Let your head fall towards the floor and then take that top arm out and down until your right shoulder pulls down, stretching right side of the neck. Keep your head hanging as you push into the bottom hand to come up, and then use that hand to help lift your head. Same thing other side. Left arm up and over. Big reach. Let your head fall towards the floor. Take that top arm out and down until your left shoulder pulls down, stretching left side of the neck. Press into the bottom hand to come up, and then use that hand to help lift your head. Let's open both legs wide. Badhokonasana, wide angle pose. Try and have your feet and knees pointing straight up. If a little lift under the hips is useful, feel free to do that. If your pelvis is tipping back, a lift under the hips might help keep it upright. And you can stay upright. If this is already a lot, you might just focus on lengthening your spine, flexing your feet. You're already at your edge, just breathe here. If you're not at your edge, lean forward until you find it. So trying for a flat back. You don't have to be rigid about it, but keep going towards flat, towards folding, breathing. At any point you might go deeper, you might back out a little. Let's bring the upper body back up. Lean back, draw the legs in, shake them out, and then come back onto your back. You can bring your knees in, take a little circle or rock with your knees. Check in with your body. What do you need to wrap up this practice? I'm going to suggest a spinal twist, but there might be something else that would serve you. If you want to join me, bring your right knee in, and then take it across. opening out through the right arm. And whatever you're choosing to do, feeling this. Roll back onto your back. Bring both knees in. And then grab hold of the left knee. Drop the right leg long. Take it across. And come back onto your back. Both knees in. And again, just check in with your body. What's needed? You're welcome to take any last pose or get yourself comfortable. Start getting your body, your clothing, your props in order for a nice rest. Eventually settling into stillness. Slowly begin to wiggle your fingers and toes, gently waking your body up again. Let this movement increase gradually, eventually stretching out long through your arms and legs. When you're ready, bring your knees in and roll to one side, pausing there for a moment. And then use your hands to help you up to sitting. Come to a comfortable cross-legged position. Bring hands together at the heart. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for joining me today. Hope you have a good rest of your day.